Albert Ronald Jex was born to Kathy and Nelson August 8, 1985. His sister Nicole must have thought he was her birthday present, as he arrived the same day she did 3 years later. She got up on that hospital bed with her mom and held her little brother. Their mom, Kathy, always made 2 cakes on that day, 2 sets of candles, 2 renditions of Happy Birthday. He came from a long line of Alberts. Both grandfathers were Alberts, but he identified most closely with his uncle Albert Franklin Magrum, killed in France in the Battle of Saarbrücken, February 26, 1945. His stepfather, William McFarland, was a Navy veteran aboard the USS Eisenhower, and the first ship to arrive on scene after the Marine barracks in Beirut, Lebanon were struck on October 23, 1983, when 220 Marines and 21 Americans lost their life that day. In nursery school, they called him Albie, and it stuck. Little Albie was a Cub Scout and in 4-H. Albie became a junior firefighter with the South Lockport and Wrights Corners fire stations, showing early on his commitment to serve others. He was 16 on 9/11 and wanted to go into the Army. Albie was not a fan of school. His talents laid elsewhere. He got his GED and went off to Fort Knox, Kentucky for basic training, graduating in May of 2007. Trained at the National Training Center at Fort Irwin in Barstow, California, and went on to be stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, as a cavalry scout. On leave, he returned to his school as the show and tell for his little brother and sister. Albert was a standout at the 50 cal machine gun. He could break it down and put it back together faster than anyone in his unit. And one day in training, down the line, someone's 50 cal jammed, and Albert ran down, took it apart, fixed it, put it back together, and returned to his own weapon, gaining the notice of his battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Garnett Derby. He chose Specialist Albert Jex to be on his personal security team. Specialist Jex was a carpenter by trade. If anything was broken in Mosul, they would say, "Get Jex, he can fix anything." According to Brigadier General Thomas Cole, quote, "Specialist Jex was a tremendous soldier. Only the best of the best serve on teams like the personal security team, and that was Albert. All-American, the best of the best." Perhaps the greatest testimony appears over and over from his friends and those he served with. They all said he would be there if you needed him. If you were small, he would be your protector. If your car broke down, he would drive as many miles as it took to give you a ride. He would drop whatever he was doing if you needed help. On that morning of February 9, 2009, as U.S. military vehicles were passing an Iraqi police checkpoint in Mosul, Iraq, witnesses say they could hear the 50 cal shooting. Seconds later, their Humvee was struck with a massive truck bomb. It took the front of a 3-story building and reduced it to rubble. All in the Humvee were killed. Albert Jex, sitting in the gun turret, was found in the rubble of the building almost an hour later. He was still alive, but succumbed to his injuries, surrounded by a chaplain and the brothers he served with. Specialist Albert Ronald Jex, American hero.